There are places where legends are born, and there are places where legends refuse to die. Hidden among the trees just outside Louisville, Kentucky, an aging railroad trestle stretches across a quiet creek. By day, it seems unremarkable. But as darkness falls, locals tell a different story. They speak of a creature with the body of a man and the head of a goat, a being said to lure curious visitors onto the tracks before vanishing into the night. Over the decades, countless thrill seekers have searched for it. Some walked away with only a frightening story. Others never made it home. Tonight, we investigate one of America's most chilling cryptid legends, the Pope Lick Monster. Unlike many famous cryptids whose stories stretch back hundreds or even thousands of years, the Pope Lick Monster is a relatively modern legend. Its home is Pope Lick Creek, northeast of Louisville, Kentucky. The area is dominated by a towering railroad trestle suspended high above the creek below. The bridge has become almost as infamous as the creature itself. Descriptions of the monster vary. Most witnesses describe a towering figure standing between 7 and 8 feet tall. It possesses the muscular body of a man, thick, coarse hair, powerful legs, and the unmistakable head of a goat, complete with curved horns and glowing eyes. Others describe something even stranger, a creature that's only partly human, as though it exists somewhere between man and beast. No two stories are exactly alike, yet one detail rarely changes. Those who claim to encounter it describe an overwhelming feeling that something is watching them from the darkness. As with many enduring legends, the origins of the Pope Lick Monster are difficult to trace. One popular story claims the creature was once a circus performer who specialized in bizarre acts before suffering a terrible accident. Disfigured and consumed by rage, he supposedly retreated into the wilderness beneath the trestle. Another tale suggests the creature escaped after a traveling circus train derailed many decades ago, releasing exotic animals into the Kentucky countryside. Perhaps the darkest version tells of a local farmer who practiced satanic rituals. According to the legend, his actions resulted in a horrifying transformation, turning him into the half-man, half-goat creature that still roams Pope Lick Creek. There is no historical evidence confirming any of these stories, but legends rarely survive because they're proven. They survive because people continue telling them, and each generation adds another layer. Over the years, numerous visitors have claimed encounters beneath the trestle. One of the earliest accounts came from teenagers exploring the area late one evening. They reported hearing footsteps matching their own pace through the trees. Each time they stopped, the footsteps stopped. When they finally shined a flashlight toward the woods, they claimed to see a large silhouette standing perfectly still. Then, it stepped behind a tree and disappeared. Another witness described driving along a nearby road shortly after midnight. As the headlights swept across the tree line, a horned figure allegedly stood at the edge of the forest. The driver blinked. The road was empty. Then there are stories from railroad workers. Some claim to hear strange cries echoing beneath the bridge on otherwise quiet nights. Others reported seeing an unusually large figure moving along the creek before vanishing into dense vegetation. None of these reports have ever been independently verified, yet they continue to surface again and again, whether the monster exists or not. The danger surrounding Pope Lick is very real. The railroad trestle is an active rail bridge. It was never designed for pedestrians. The narrow structure offers few places to escape if a train approaches, and because of its height, stepping off the tracks is not an option. Over the years, multiple people have lost their lives after venturing onto the bridge while searching for the legendary creature. Authorities have repeatedly warned the public that trespassing on the trestle is both illegal and extremely dangerous. Ironically, the legend may have become more deadly than the creature itself. For some, curiosity proved fatal. Those who believe in the Pope Lick Monster argue that the consistency of certain reports is difficult to ignore. Witnesses who have never met often describe similar features: the horns, the massive build, the intense feeling of being watched. Skeptics point to a different explanation: expectation. Once someone knows the legend, every strange shadow becomes suspicious. Every distant animal call sounds unfamiliar. Our brains naturally search for patterns, especially in dark, unfamiliar places. Could fear itself create the monster? Or is fear simply what the monster leaves behind? The answer depends on who you ask. Unlike Bigfoot, the Pope Lick Monster isn't famous because of footprints, or blurry photographs, or questionable hair samples. Its power comes from something far older than evidence: stories, Stories shared around campfires, whispered between friends, passed from one generation to the next. Perhaps that's why the legend has endured. Not because anyone can prove the creature exists, but because no one can completely explain why the stories refuse to disappear. So if you ever find yourself near Pope Lick Creek after sunset, you may hear only the wind moving through the trees. You may see only the empty railroad bridge stretching into the darkness. Or you may catch a glimpse of something standing beneath the trestle, watching, waiting for the next curious visitor.